Good day, I'm Johan Grobler and thank you for the opportunity of giving this lesson to you today. In the previous lesson we looked at domestic and international flights, but then also international airports and domestic airports. Now today I want to look at the process that goes in from the moment that you arrive at the airport to the moment that you land at your destination, and then what happens afterwards. So this whole process starts with firstly you deciding I'm going to book a trip for me, myself, or then friends or family to a certain destination. You can book the flights yourself on the internet, or you can make use of a travel agent that will then book them for you. Obviously the travel agents have also to make their money somewhere, so it is more expensive to book your flights through a travel agent than booking them yourself on the internet. But if you just want a bit more convenience, then I would say the travel agent is the route to go. But for me personally, booking it on the internet is not that difficult, and again at the end one saves a bit of money. So you've booked your flights, you know who's going and you know where you are going to. Now the actual day has arrived. We are going to the airport and we're flying to our destination. So you load up all your luggage into your car, you drive to the airport. Important to know is that when you fly domestically, you need to be at the airport 1 hour before the time, or if you then fly internationally, you have to be at the airport 3 hours prior to your flight departure. The reason for this being, if something happens that you can't foresee, unforeseen circumstances occur, then you need to be at the airport an hour before the time or 3 hours before the time, so that they can make the necessary arrangements from the airport side. You arrive at the airport, you park your car in the parking lot, or someone drops you off at the airport, and now you enter the airport. You've got no idea what to do, where to go, or what to do next. Now I'm here now today to tell you what to do. So once you've arrived at the airport, you go immediately to your check-in counter. You know which airline you are flying with. So for example, South African Airlines, or you're flying with KLM or Etihad Airways, you go to that specific check-in counter. When you've got no bags to check in, this means you only have that hand luggage with you, so you can take that specific bag with you onto the airplane. Nowadays we get the self-service kiosks. Now this means you can check in yourself. You are not directly going to the check-in counter. You can check in yourself, and you also enter your reference number, which is printed on the piece of paper that you've printed once you've booked your flight. You put in your reference number, you choose your seat, and they will print you then your boarding pass. So then you can go straight through to the boarding gate, and you can board the aeroplane at the given time they've given you. That is now if you only have hand luggage with you. If you've got bags that you want to check in, so you're going for a longer period of time, you have bags, you've packed a bit more than just one suitcase, then you now need to go to the check-in counter. So say for example we're flying with KLM, we'll go to the KLM check-in counter, you wait in line, and then someone will call you that will then assist you. Now this works as follows. You will get to the check-in counter, the lady or the gentleman at the counter will greet you. They will then also ask for your identification document. This could be either a passport or your ID document. They will ask for it. They will ask you where you are flying to. So say for example we're flying to Abu Dhabi. They will ask where you are flying to. You'll tell them I'm flying to Abu Dhabi, and then give them your passport. They will check and confirm your details on their system to make sure that you've actually booked a flight, and then they will ask you if there's any bags that you want to check in. You'll say yes, I've got bags to check in. You put them on the scale, they'll weigh them. Now if you fly domestically, you are allowed to take 15 kilograms of luggage that you may check in, or if you fly internationally, you may check in 20 kilograms of luggage. They'll weigh your luggage. If your luggage is fine, they will check it in and they will give you your boarding pass. Now say for example you've packed a bit more than you should have. Say for example there's 7 kilograms of excess. then you need to go to another check-in counter where you will have to pay a certain amount of money for that specific kilograms that is now in excess. So say for example it's 1 kilogram equals 50 Rand, then you'll have to pay 50 Rand times 7 kilograms. That's then the extra that you have to pay for you having packed a bit more than you were allowed to. Right, so then you've paid the excess, you go back to the check-in counter and they'll give you your boarding pass. On the boarding pass, we'll say to you exactly at what time you should be at the check-in boarding gates, and then they'll also say at what gate you should be for boarding then. If you've got time left before your flight departures, you can spend it with your friends or your family having a cup of coffee, and then at the time that you should be at the boarding gate, you must then be there. At the boarding gate, you will also again present them your boarding pass and also proof of identification, your passport or then your ID document. They will make sure that both of your boarding pass and your ID document correspond with each other, and then they'll give you a small piece of paper bag that you can take with you onto the aeroplane, and then they'll tell you you can now proceed boarding the aeroplane. You will walk down to the aeroplane. As soon as you get to the aeroplane, all of us want to take a picture. You can quickly take a picture with your friends and your family in front of the aeroplane, and then there'll be an air hostess which welcomes you onto the aeroplane. She will or he will then ask for your ID document and also your boarding pass, and they'll welcome you onto the aeroplane, and then you can proceed to your seat. Now on the boarding pass, the small strip that they've given you back, it will show you exactly where you are seated. Now the aeroplane works from row 1. It also differs because we get smaller and we get bigger aeroplanes, but it normally works from row 1. So there's a left hand and a right hand side. It will say for example 1A, B and C. Then there's an aisle in the middle, and then it goes from D, E and F. So you go to your seat number. Say for example we're seated at row 14E. You walk down to row or seat 14E. If you've got bags with you, you'll see there's an overhead storage bin where you can put your hand luggage then in, and then you can take a seat. When you've taken your seat, make sure that your safety belt is securely fastened and that your tray table is folded away, and then we just wait for the command of the pilot, which then say we can then take off. Once all the passengers are on their seats, the air hostess will welcome all the guests again, and then they'll go through the procedures to be followed in case of an emergency. Now in case of an emergency, you'll also see when you enter the aeroplane that there's emergency exits. At the check-in counter, make sure that you've indicated to them, I want to sit at an emergency exit, or I'm not willing to assist in the case of an emergency. The emergency seats are a bit bigger, they are more spacious, but you are not allowed to keep anything with you for the duration of the flight when seated at the emergency exits. Now the air hostess has welcomed us, we've taken our seats, we are glad to be there, we're all excited, and now we hear the voice of the pilot. The pilot is the one that's flying the aeroplane to the destination, and he has also gotten a co-pilot, which then helps him or her to then make sure we land at our final destination safely and securely. Right, now they've welcomed us, we've heard what the pilot has to say, and now it's takeoff time. Alright, so they'll come by, the air hostess, make sure that everyone is safely secured in their seats, and now we just wait for the takeoff. Now for me personally, I don't know which one is my favorite, the takeoff or the landing. Both of them are evenly exciting for me. So as soon as the aeroplane takes off, one can start to take pictures as soon as the seat belt signs have been switched off. And in today's life, in our business environment and working environment that we live in, many of the airplanes have got Wi-Fi services available for us to now use for the duration of the flight. When we've reached our cruising altitude, for domestic flights, it's normally 30 to 32,000 feet above the ground. The air hostess will make an announcement to say that there will be refreshments on sale, or that then the refreshments will now be served. Refreshments on sale is mostly for domestic flights, where the refreshments is not included in the purchase price of the ticket, and then you will have to pay for that extra. You'll see in the front of your seat there's also a pocket where there's a magazine located. You can open up the magazine, have a look at what is on offer and on sale for the duration of the flight, and as soon as the air hostess comes by, you can then tell him or her what you would like to order. Just make sure that you have cash with you, because no card payments are allowed on an aeroplane. Now that is if it's a domestic flight and your refreshments is not included in the ticket price. If the refreshments is included in the purchase price, then you can order what's available for that specific flight. We all know the phrase which says beef or chicken, and you can place your order and enjoy your flight. How to keep yourself busy on the flight? Like I said, Wi-Fi is available on most of our flights that we have today, but there's also in-flight entertainment available to us, the passengers, to use, and this is free of charge. This includes music channels, a lot of music channels. You'll also have your own earpieces or earphones which you can use to listen to music. That's the one type of entertainment. There's lots of games on offer especially for the younger ones, and then there's also a lot of new movies that we can enjoy for the duration of the flight. That will keep you busy for the duration of the flight. Right, so we're into our flight. We're 8 hours, 9 hours. Then you'll hear the voice of the flight attendants, which says we'll now get the cabin ready for landing. This will mostly, or in most of the times, be half an hour before the flight will landing. Then all your luggage then needs to be packed away again. Your tray table should be folded, your earphones should be taken out of your ears,